Hello, welcome back to Colleen Cosplay, where I will be your host, Katie Colleen. On today's video of You Ask Questions, I Give Answers. Today we are doing my 500 subscriber Q&A video. So I recently hit 500 subscribers, which is huge. That is a lot of people. I left a video where I asked you to leave your questions in the comments, and then I also opened it up on Instagram with a similar post. So before we dig into the comments, I'm just going to speed round some frequently asked questions. Speed round, what do I call you? You can call me either Katie or Colleen or Katie Colleen or Colleen Cosplay. I will respond to Katie or Colleen equally, and I have no preference which you use. Relationship status. I am engaged and I will be getting married in August. How do you fund all of this cosplay and YouTube stuff? I actually have a mechanical engineering degree and I am working a job as a mechanical engineer. And I make $0 from cosplay and YouTube. What's up with your legs? What's your disability? What's wrong with you? If you have any questions about my disability, the full story is here on my YouTube. You can just watch that and that's gonna be much easier than having me explain it. So with that out of the way, let's dig into the questions. I'm really sorry if I pronounced this wrong.
Janela Avila
Ask any advice you have for people wanting to get into cosplay. I guess just to jump in and do it, I see a lot of people with both cosplay and YouTube just getting really nervous about starting it, and you just gotta go. When I started out, I just used my own natural hair. I hardly did any makeup. I think there's this idea in the cosplay community that you have to make your cosplays in order to be a cosplayer. That is not true. My first few cosplays were all made by my grandma. I have purchased cosplays. So I would just either, thrift something, buy something, put it together, see if you enjoy it, and if you want to get into making, you can do that. From Ashley, do you have any interesting or funny stories about cosplay experiences at cons? The one that comes to mind at first, I actually made a video for. It was like quite a while ago, so it's an old video. And then the second experience that came to mind was more recently at RadCon. There was a lot of chaos that did not make it into the vlog. At RadCon on Saturday, I wore this huge Elsa gown that I made. And it takes a village to have an Elsa. So I cannot wear the ball gown for very long. So I was wearing the wig and all the makeup and casual clothes in the morning, and we left the hoop skirt, the petty skirt, and the actual gown in the car. And I'm like, okay, I need to get ready. I want to get ready early so we can get pictures and stuff. All of us go out to the car. It is raining and I'm on crutches. It is really, really cold. So we get to the car, we kind of load up, big sister Colleen Cosplay gets, I think the petty skirt and the dress, and then Fernanda's carrying this huge hoop skirt, and I'm just crutching along with both my crutches. I got changed into Elsa in the convention bathroom, and the convention's held at the Red Lion Hotel, and it takes all of us to get it onto me. So then I get into cosplay, and then I cannot walk in my hoop skirt with two crutches. I can only use one. So then I'm like, well, now we have this extra crutch, and then we had to leave it behind the desk. I was not in the cosplay for very long, and the moment the contest ended, they said contestants could get out of cosplay during intermission. So me, big sister Colleen Cosplay, Fernanda all snuck out, went to the bathroom, and I just was unleashed from this ball gown. And then of course we had to go through the same reverse process of running out in the cold, in the rain. I'm crutching along, and then they're carrying the big hoop skirt, the petticoat, and the gown. And there was a lot of just crazed chaos going on. There was a lot that you did not see, and I'm really grateful for the people that helped me, but it does make it harder for me to want to bring Elsa to other conventions just because she is so much work and I need a lot of backup.
Mara Jana
Ask, what's your favorite cosplay you've done and why? I have some very good memories attached to Tamari, so that might be my favorite, but Supergirl has also become so important to me and is kind of the symbol of my channel. It's my logo sort of. So Supergirl is really, really big for me, but I feel like Tamari has more experiences, and it was like my first couples cosplay, and I got to experience a convention with my fiance. So I want to go with Tamari on this one, but Supergirl would be a close runner-up. By Stevie, Sugar Skull System in brackets. How did you get the motivation to carry on cosplaying even though you're disabled? I am 15 and also disabled, and I love doing cosplay, but I'm in a wheelchair, and any advice for getting more comfortable being a disabled cosplayer would be great. Have a good day. It's different for everyone, so I'm just gonna tell you like how I went about getting comfortable with my mobility aids and braces, because I feel like maybe there's this idea that I've always been okay with it. I was not. The first conventions I went to, like as I was dealing with my disability, I would not wear my brace and I would not use mobility aids, and I actually did really bad things to my joints and they would get really swollen by the end of the day. I was not always comfortable with mobility aids. So what made me kind of, you know, start experimenting with it was doing original designs or original characters. I think the first set of pictures where I honestly like wore my huge knee brace I had at the time was my BB-8 photo shoot. So I did an original design of BB-8 from Star Wars, and at the time I was wearing this huge knee brace, and it was this obnoxious orange color, and they did not sell it in any other color. And when I did my BB-8 cosplay, BB-8 is also like the same like bright orange color. So when I wore the brace with that cosplay, it felt like it was part of the cosplay, and it kind of looked like robot-like. So that was my first time wearing a brace, and it felt like it just fit the character, it fit the cosplay. And no one's gonna tell me like, BB-8 doesn't wear a knee brace. Like, girl, BB-8 doesn't even have knees. Or also original characters. So one of the first conventions that I used crutches for, I did this. It was a design for the Centaur of Attention Kickstarter, so it was supposed to be like a centauress kind of design. It ended up looking more like an elf, but again, there is no character associated with it, and that made me feel so much more comfortable because I didn't feel like I was being inaccurate. So I would definitely start with those to like help get your motivation and your confidence built up. And I think it also helps to decorate your crutches some too. It made me feel like my crutches, same with the brace for BB-8, it made me feel like it was part of the cosplay, and not having my mobility aids would mean the cosplay was incomplete. It encourages you to use your mobility aids because you do need them. You do need your mobility aids. And then you think it's part of the costume because it is, and then it's like super cool. So that's just kind of how I went into it. So you will get there, just, you know, baby steps, okay?
Mara Jenna.
Again, ask what's your favorite anime and why? My favorite anime is Naruto. I just love the characters. Their characters, like the side characters, are so well written. The side characters could have their own anime. I honestly feel like the anime could have been about Gaara, Shikamaru, or Rock Lee, and it would have been just as good. Like, even if Naruto was not the main character, because the side characters are so well developed, and the story is just like so good, so good. I am a huge Naruto fan. I've made 4 cosplays from it now. 4 or 5 cosplays from this show now. Okay, so now we're gonna jump into some Instagram questions that I got on my post asking for questions. Luna Lovely 46 asked dogs or cats. For me, birds. I have a canary and 2 diamond doves right now. I love my birds. I love all birds everywhere. Though for dog or cat, me and my fiance are planning on maybe getting a cat when we move out. The Superhero Nerd 13 asked, what was the hardest cosplay you've made, and what is a cosplay you want to do you think is too hard, or my dream cosplay? What I would currently consider like my hardest to make would probably be Elsa. When I was making Elsa, I had no experience with understructures for gowns. I didn't know anything about hoop skirts or petty skirts, and the painting was very, very difficult for me. I purposely went into painting that gown without doing research because I was making YouTube videos off of it, and I felt the YouTube video would be more entertaining if I just like went for it. And then my dream cosplay, I don't really have a cosplay that I feel is too hard, and like I'll get it eventually. It may take years, but I will get it. So I don't really have cosplays that are too hard, but I do have some dream cosplays which I think I just will not be able to physically wear very well. For a long time, kind of wanted to do this Cinderella princess gown, like the huge one. I still am not sure if I can wear that with my mobility aids comfortably. Like, it would be way bigger than my Elsa gown, and I've already told you how that went. I definitely would want to do like Conan one day, just so I can, you know, cosplay every Naruto character, and I'm not sure how well the wings would work. Big armor builds, big wings, and big ball gowns. Yumori.cos asks, if you can only wear one of your cosplays to cons, which one would you choose? I would wear probably Supergirl. Supergirl is really comfortable without the cape, and it's really, really heavy, but the costume itself, the leotard and the skirt, are really comfortable, so I could wear that for a long time. The thing with a lot of my other builds, like Tamari is like, you know, the undershirt, the underpants, the dress, the corset piece, the gloves, the shoes, the shin guards. There is just a lot of pieces that go into some of my cosplays, and Supergirl is just very simple. And then she's also probably the most recognizable cosplay that I do, so I could easily wear her to like an anime con or a comic con or a sci-fi con, and it'd work. Then Empathy Cosplay asks, what started you on cosplays and how long have you been doing cosplays? This is a good one to end on. So I have been cosplaying actually since 2013, 2014, it's all kind of a blur. So when I started like cosplaying, I would not consider myself a cosplayer. I don't really see that as like the start of my cosplay journey really. I'd say my cosplay journey started around the time I started doing YouTube. So there's a larger story, but I used to be a competitive martial artist, and I used to be a horse trainer and a long distance athlete. So I had all of these hobbies that I did, and things that, you know, helped me relieve stress, and things that, you know, occupied my time, and cosplay was just always on the back burner. So it was not a big deal to me. And when I started losing those hobbies due to the progression of my disability, I quit karate, I sold my horse, I quit running. I just kind of had this moment in my life where I felt so lost, and I just kind of evaluated like, what do I still have? What hobbies do I still have? And then I came back to cosplay because that was one of the only things that I had been doing that I enjoyed and I could still do. And you know, the more I did cosplay, the more it really just helped me get through that part of my life. And then when I started YouTube, because like cosplay by itself was not enough for me, and when I started YouTube, it just became a thing, and I've been doing YouTube for almost 2 years now. We're getting up to the 2-year anniversary of YouTube. So you can, I guess, I've been cosplaying for like 7 years, but I really feel like it's only closer to 3. And here we are at, I think we're at like 540 something subscribers now. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and thank you so much for over 500 subscribers. That is crazy. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye!